Call this meeting to order. Please rise to the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right.
Right. Roll call, please.
Carrie Behringer is excused. Paul Cooney,
Present.
Joe Latte.
Here.
Robert Laraway,
Yes, ma'am.
Fred Peavy,
Here.
Carol Shannon here, Dave Torres.
Here. We have a quorum. Agenda's before you. Anything to be corrected or added? If not, we'll adopt as unanimous consent. Consent agenda there. Anything to be taken out and discussed by anyone? Any clarifications? If not, Chair will recognize a motion to accept the consent agenda. Motion made by Laraway to accept consent agenda. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Peavy. Discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries. Okay. You had a busy week, Miss Interim Manager. Lots of different meetings, so I know that you've been putting in a lot of hours and you've got it very well organized, so I appreciate that. All of us on the council appreciate that. I was at a lake committee meeting. I'm the vice chair of the lake commission or the lake restoration committee. And there's rumors going around all over about what we're doing. And basically the meetings are public, so people should come to find out. And secondly, we've come to a point where we have to make sure that we save enough money to get the project finished. So this year we're going to forestall some of those things. It's not that we can't do them, but we won't have money to complete the whole project if we don't take some time and evaluate exactly what we're going to do. So I encourage everyone that's listening and wants to know to come to the meetings and or check the website, and they can find all the information as to why we're taking this pause until we evaluate exactly what we have to do. Okay, this has always been a liquid situation, or fluid rather, fluid situation. So we have to make sure that we know the square yardage that we're going to pull out, or the cubic yards, where we're going to dispose of it and everything else, and what order that we'll do it in. And so that's what we're in the possession, or in the position of, or taking the position now is we're going to take a little break and see, get some information before we make any decisions, because once made, you can't change them very easily. So I just wanted to address that, because I've heard some rumors that just aren't true about us not doing anything. So it's been a lot of consideration and a lot of effort put into that. And that's it for my public comment. Ms. Manager, you're up.
Okay, so you have your manager's report in front of you. Just to touch on a few things. The back office, it used to be more of like a storeroom. We did have some desks in there, but it was not very usable. We have now moved all of our files out of that office, and there are 3 desks in there that will allow for our part-time code enforcement officer, when we do hire one, to have a desk in there. Our sheriff has a desk in there when he needs to do his reports. And we have an extra desk in there for right now our intern, or should any of the council want to come in and have office hours, they have a desk that they can sit at. And we also have extended it to professionals that come to the village office. Last month, or at the planning commission, we had MMDC come in, and one of the representatives lives out of town. So she got here very early and she was like, do you have a place I can sit? And we have a place now where they can sit, where our auditors can sit should they come in the office. Makes it really nice. We also moved the copier machine into that office as well, just to cut down on the noise when you're making copies and you're on the phone, it's really hard to hear. I've had a lot of questions on fire withholding and Century 20 and the Century 21 building. A long time ago, in 2020 or 2017, the village passed a resolution that establish the village's required escrow account for fire withholding under the state of Michigan's insurance department. What this does is when a home or a business unfortunately has a fire, a certain amount of money is placed with the village in an escrow account to make sure that the cleanup and restoration of that property is done to the village zoning standards. This has happened, I believe, 5 times since we adopted this resolution. And each time, we've never had to go onto the property. The one we had the most trouble with would have been the pellet factory, but even the pellet factory, we ended up just contracting with the companies and issuing the checks to those companies once they rectified the problem. I did send out a notice to Century 21, the landholder, the agent working there, and the insurance company that they have. So they all know that right now, the building is not in acceptable condition. There's a lot of debris on the ground that could just simply be picked up and thrown into a dumpster or hauled away. It is flying onto neighboring properties. They are not obviously happy with this. They have metal shavings coming. They have glass that's still on the porch that blows off into their yards and what is it called? Asbestos, but insulation, thank you, is also blowing around. And then they have some gaping holes, and if you ever look in that building, there is no floor. So if anybody or a child or any, animal got up onto that porch, they could walk through that door and just fall straight down into the basement of that building. So I've let them know that these issues need to be taken care of by September 3rd, I believe is what I put on the notice. And then by September 10th, I believe I asked to have a plan in place on whether or not we're gonna restore the building to what it was prior, or if we're going to demolish the building in total. The upcoming November election will include 4 seats on the Lake Isabella Village Council. 4 candidates have been confirmed for the 4 available positions: Dave Torgerson, Carrie Behringer, Jason Benzinger, who is currently on our Village Planning Commission, and Aaron Dorr, who is currently on our Village Ethics Committee. The election provides residents an opportunity to participate in selecting the individuals who help guide the village and represent the community on the Village Council. Curbside recycling. There's been a few rumors going around that curbside recycling is going to cease to exist in the village. And that is not true. I had a meeting with Charity, who is the director of Isabella County Recycling, and they did go out for bids. Just like us, it's going to be cheaper for them to contract out the curbside program than it is to do it in-house. Once they get their bids back, they will come to the communities that right now contract with them to do curbside recycling, and we'll look at how that's going to look for the village. Under the Public Act that we do our recycling right now, the max amount that the Isabella County Recycling can charge village residents with a home out here is $25 per year. So right now we pay $15 per year, and we paid $15 per year since 2007. And I believe all of us and all of our residents can understand why they may need more than $15 a year to come out here, because our prices are quite different from 2007. The brush pile and leaf bag drop off. Approximately 3 weeks ago, a representative from the Michigan Department of Environment, Great Lakes and Energy, better known as EGLE, stopped by our brush pile and spoke with one of our employees about how we are disposing of our leaves. So for the last 3 weeks, we have not accepted any leaves at all at the brush pile. In 2003, there was an update to a law. And in 2004, they implemented it, but didn't really notify all villages. And that's what this representative, his name is Brian, was trying. It's like, we know that they didn't really get the word out, but you can't bury your leaves any longer. So he says we've got a great composting system there to where we can move our leaves from one bin to the other. And by the time it gets to the back leaves or back bunker, it will be composted. Our brush pile, he said, it's fine. He's like, you can take brush, you can burn your brush, It doesn't matter the size. We're never gonna get to the size that would matter for them because we're too small. He apologizes that we didn't get our notice. He goes, but lots of small communities had no idea that this was in place, so that's why we're making the rounds. And he's like, I didn't mean to scare any of your residents into thinking that this would not be an option. In the meantime, though, when we're talking about composting, when I had my meeting with Charity, she gave me some excellent resources where we can take our leaf bags if we wanted to, that is free for drop off. So not only can we tell our residents where they can take their bags for free, because right now we're telling them to take them to Isabella County Recycling, which costs $2.50 a bag. And that's in Mount Pleasant. This place is called Bushies and it's in Farwell, and you can take bags there for free. So we could offer to take bags there, you know, for free if we did not want to compost. And the residents can also take them there if we're closed. I also spoke with Chief Livermore. His crew is coming off of their summer vacations. He said, you know, they have those in place, so he's got to work around, you know, the last few vacations. Once that's done, he's coming in and they will do a slow burn and have the pile burned. I also had a tree company that does a lot of work out in the village for residents who offered to bring their excavator over to help move and turn the brush pile while it's burning to make sure it gets down, because they appreciate what we offer for our village residents here. Our audit is coming up. It's September 28th and 29th. So right after this meeting, we are starting to get information around to them. We have already done some work prior to this. But after this meeting, we're really gonna get into the throes of what they need. Currently, I'm working on a newsletter. It's probably going to be a rather large newsletter. We have a lot of stuff to get out to our residents so that everybody knows what's going on. Some ideas that I had, I'd like to have an article on our dedicated sheriff so that we can introduce him. People will know him. I figured this can also be where we can put the QR code that the sheriffs shared with us that people can utilize. If they have tips or questions or concerns, they can use that QR code. I'd like to do an introduction for candidates that are running for village council. They may know you, but we have a lot of new residents as well who may not. And I just think it's a good idea just to have a little blurb in there about who's running and why. I'd like to give a dredging update. I would like to do a feature on the fireworks committee, including what we put in every newsletter, which is all the donors who donated for this last fireworks show. I'd like to put in a farewell to Tim, and I would like to have an introduction to the new village employees that we have hired since then. I would like to also do a website and Facebook page article on what you can find there, how you can stay informed, and the ins and outs of that. And then a frequently requested contact information. I don't know if you guys remember getting a long time ago, I think it was the Wademan Business Association used to hand out these little cards that had like phone numbers for all important offices within. So I'd like to put something in there that gives everybody phone numbers that they can just stick on their fridge in case they want to, you know, like the assessor, the treasurer for both Broomfield and Sherman, the clerk for Broomfield and Sherman, the county numbers, the building inspector's numbers, things like that. I would also like to put the guide to building in Lake Isabella and an article about our village property taxes. I would also like to inquire if there's anything you guys can think of that you'd like to put in there or things that you'd like to take out. I don't need an answer tonight. I won't be doing the newsletter tomorrow. So if you could just let me know in the next couple weeks, I would like to have this go out by October. Our zoning activity, we did have one new house come in, which is great. And I believe we have another one on the horizon who just called today. Several decks, multiple sheds, and a few fence permits. And then as for code enforcement, we've had 14 blight notices go out, 1 noise, 2 vehicles, and 1 zoning. The zoning has been taken care of. They moved their accessory structure. The vehicles are going to be issued tickets if their vehicles are not removed by the date that was on their notice. and blight is ongoing. And then the last page in my report is the sheriff patrols statistics. You'll have the shift dates there. He right now is working Monday through Wednesday, and he's going to continue working Monday through Wednesday, probably for a couple more weeks, just so he can really get the layout of the land, memorize what streets are what and where, and get to know, our property owners. And then once that cycle is done, we are going to start moving those shifts around. He'll have an afternoon shift here and there. He'll have a Saturday shift here and there, whether that be a Saturday evening, so you combine two, things that he'll have a Monday through Wednesday and a Wednesday through Friday type of thing. It won't be so structured, because obviously if it's too structured, then people will know, okay, I can't speed Monday through Wednesday, but Thursday through Sunday, I'm good to go. He had an arrest warrant out here on an outstanding warrant. We've had 2 animal control complaints that has happened while he was here, a domestic assault, 1 civil matter, and several public relation matters. He's fitting very well into the community and into the office. He's made a lot of contact with our citizens, and most of the time when people are coming in, they're very appreciative and are saying that, they met him and they think he's, very nice, and they're excited that he's here. So I believe that was a really good, he really fits in well. And I believe that is everything on my mind.
Okay, any questions for Ms. Manley? No? All right, good. DPW, what do you have, Jerry?
Short and sweet. I have been working on the brush pile back there, moving it around, piling it better. Trying to make more room for us, so it'll work out better. We have been cleaning a lot more ditches out, so trying to get these corners cut back, and so it's more visible, and as far as hitting deer and stuff too, so. Other than that, that's all we're up to right now.
Okay. Any questions for? No? Okay, thank you. Fireworks update. Is that Jeff?
I'll speak for them real quick. There's a committee of 9 of us. We've met twice now. And I believe you guys should have, if I'm correct, they have the copy of the flyer that we've come up with that they want to put out. A lot of it's gonna be hand delivered. I believe there was a volunteer company, graphic company that, I don't remember the name of the company.
Pleasant Graphics.
Pleasant Graphics, had volunteered to produce all those flyers for that. I think we believe we're supposed to get them tomorrow. And then we'll start distributing them, yeah, so. But this is a very talkative, very high spirited group. I'm very happy to see that. The ideas flowing out of them is remarkable. So I think after the next couple of meetings here, we're gonna have some really good results with hopefully, stuff that we can give back to you guys, making your decisions on how we proceed from here. But one of the biggest things that they're looking to do is getting donations flowing. Approaching businesses, hosting events, getting more notices out there, including like in the newsletter and stuff like that too. So things are going very well for the 2 meetings we've had already.
Okay. Okay. Mid-Michigan Development. Cool.
Not here.
Not here. First opportunity for public comment. Public hearings are on public comment. Name and address for the record, please. Anybody wants to keep it about 3 minutes? Anybody?
Ken Scott, 1089 Isabella Vista. I was here for the planning commission meeting regarding the data center ordinances. And from what I'm seeing, they really didn't change a thing. They just passed the buck to all of you. My neighbor actually printed off, she wrote up a bunch, and I'm pretty sure she sent it in for the email or through email, but all the change, most of the changes that she had in there were right spot on. But I did notice one thing, that the way it's worded as far as the square footage, it's listed as 10,000 square foot footprint, which still gives them room to go bigger and taller at least. And was it 35 feet was the building height?
Yeah.
If they short the ceilings up, they can get 3 stories out of that. So now we're talking 30,000 square foot. if we add up all 3 floors. And even 10,000 square foot is a pretty good sized building. But I just don't see enough stipulations as far as our resources, the quality of living out here. And I'd just like to see a little bit more, I guess. They can actually run those without water to cool them. They don't want to, and they won't tell you that because I help build these things for a living. They're kind of a double-edged sword for me. I'm a union electrician. And we put them up, I've been working on them all over the place, in solar fields, all of it. They do have a way to do it without using any water. And like the zoning is right now, the only place it can go is over at the DPW.
No,
That's the only industrial.
no, that's only if this ordinance gets passed. Right now,
Yes.
they can go anywhere.
Right. But they still have the option to rezone the agricultural section behind the DPW where the lagoons are at. Zoning is pretty simple to have rezoned. It happens all the time everywhere, and these people have enough money to make that happen. No matter if we all want it, or if you all don't want it, they'll line the pockets of the right people and make it happen. They can afford to.
And that could happen. We talked about that at the last meeting as well.
Exactly. This is something very important. I feel very strongly about
And I
it.
understand and I respect that. I do. And I appreciate, hearing that stuff. But we tried a couple different ways to explain that during the last meeting, that that could happen. Especially if we made it exclusionary, and that's what we were trying to explain to everybody, at that meeting.
Right.
Then our hand could be forced and they could go anywhere. Or they could, force rezoning through litigation. And that's why we were trying to relate to everybody at that meeting that this is why we're trying to get something on the books. It gives us legal standing.
Right.
Without anything on the books, or with making it just straight exclusionary, we don't have legal standing. And you said it yourself, they have hideout attorneys, and that's why we're trying to get something established.
Exactly.
And I try to remember when we're talking about those, have we had any queries about any data centers? Any
No.
inquiries, applications, anything to
No.
do with it? Okay, so we are ahead of the game,
Right. Well, obviously, this isn't gonna be their first choice to look.
well, certainly,
They're gonna want more area to grow.
But that's partially why the zoning commission was, going about it that way, is because currently we have nothing, so we have no legal standing to stop something like that from happening. And we can't just make it exclusionary for the same reason, because then if somebody trying to come in, we have.
Well, yeah, it's a little more than that too.
Well, I
What about putting a-
But basically, what you're saying is you'd like to see more information about how much usable space. Like you
Yeah,
said, 3
like-
stories.
Like I said, they can go up
Sure.
to 35 feet. That's just the overall height of the building. Now,
Right.
They put all their rooftop units on top.
Right,
That gives them a whole lot more room. They got that whole 35 foot to play with inside. They get
Yeah.
at least 2 stories out of that.
Yeah.
And it all depends on how they run all their ductwork for basically the AC, the heating and air conditioning, it depends on how they run their ductwork.
we
But
did
that
get
takes up the
that,
most
we
space.
got all these papers from. In our public folder, right?
Mhm.
So we've got that, information, that letter that you said they sent and stuff, we've got it right here.
I would take a good look at that.
Yep.
She has the wording, I think, right down pat. She's very good at it, obviously, but they actually just moved into the area like less than 2 years ago. They actually bought my daughter's house across the street. I built their house. But I just possible to look into putting in a 12-month memorandum. So we can make sure that we have this all of our ducks in a row.
Well,
Before we submit
that's
all this.
what we're discussing, and we've got all that under right now, control as to what we're going to do. So, that's where we're gonna take it right now. We're going to do that. We're gonna review the information and then make a decision. So your concerns have been noted.
I think a memorandum is about our best bet right now.
Yeah, we've heard that.
Before we get it shoved down our throats, like our governor did in Saline.
Yep,
Those people just got the shaft.
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, anyone else? Okay. Existing business, reset proposed ordinance.
proposed ordinance 2026-03 was the park entrance adjacent lots, which allows properties that are separated, they own two properties that's separated by that 10-foot easement into a park
Okay,
to then build. So we're having an email issue when we're sending. And because of that, this did not get to the paper in time. And when I reached out to her to ask to make sure that she got it, she stated she did not. And then we found that it was still in the send folder. And currently our IT department is looking into different, what are they called?
Different web hosting and email hosting.
Web hosting that won't, so when I'm hitting send on my emails, if I click out or move out of there, it automatically sends it to my draft folder instead of sending like I'm pushing. This has happened for a few times prior to this. It's never really mattered because I haven't been on a time crunch per se. Until I've taken this position, and now obviously it's a bit more. And so this is an easy fix where we can just go ahead and reschedule it for next month's meeting, but I wanted to then move our hosting to where this isn't going to happen in the future because it could have been something important.
okay, so
I
we're
just need
we're
some-
fixing the glitch.
Yep, yeah, we're fixing the glitch, but I do need a motion to reschedule the public hearing for next month.
Everybody understand that? What's going on?
Yep.
Chair will entertain a motion to postpone it until next meeting.
Motion.
Motion made by Laraway to postpone this till the next meeting. Is there a second? Seconded by Peavy. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. All opposed, say no. Motion carries. Airport.
You had asked me to contact the attorney and contact the state of Michigan in regards to the airport inspection. I did contact the state of Michigan and they said that there was no ramifications should we not complete their request. For now. Eventually, if we don't do it or the airport doesn't take care of them, then they'll pull our license to be an airport. But he said that they work with you to make sure that it gets done. They understand that we're small. Tom's already taken care of two of the issues with the parking sign and the airport entrance sign. The lighting issue, I emailed them and they said that we'll now have like not a hearing, but we'll have a meeting with them. They're not gonna expect us to move our lights 10 feet off of the runway because we're so small and they don't understand that that would be an expense that we couldn't afford. And since our lights stay on all the time anyways, it doesn't really matter. And then the airport trajectory
Runway.
is just as simple as Tom figuring out what those measurements are and putting it on a form that I have in my office and we send it back to them. And they put it in and we hope that that's right. They don't know why it changed from a few years ago. And they don't know if the few years ago number was right. They won't know until now we submit this. And then, like I said, Jerry said the trees. Oh, wow. We'll only take a couple days to take down. And I believe, Tom, when we discussed it, were we gonna touch on the trees on this side of Coldwater? Or it didn't matter? We kind of left it.
The ones on this side are as big of an issue, according to the report. The ones on the east side are the issue.
Right.
I have a guy coming to give me an estimate on what it's gonna take to clean that up. He was supposed to be here today, but he didn't make it, so.
That's okay. And then Tom can probably also fill you in a little bit. We had a little runway mishap with was it an ultralight?
Light
Sport plane. I don't believe there was any injuries, but the plane probably won't fly for a minute. So.
just some feelings were hurt.
A little embarrassing. Wow.
Our attorney said that, having their attorney draft the lease was the right way to go as it saves the village money, because then our attorney just has to
Look at
review the
it.
lease, so.
So that's less expensive option.
And unless the council makes a motion to have our attorney do it, our attorney said just that he would recommend staying status quo with what we're doing now.
Okay. So do we know how much the property is worth?
No, we do not.
It is 22 acres.
I will say that our attorney asked that same question and said it probably wouldn't hurt to get an appraisal done. But that's something that would also need a motion.
Oh. I think it's smart if we get that before we go. You know, as part of the discovery process and figuring things out, we should probably know how much it's worth. I would be in favor of doing that. Find out how much the property is worth. Yeah.
Could you explain why we're spending money on an appraisal when we already have an agreement on the price?
Yeah, we want to know how much it's worth. We just want to know for our information, how much is that property worth, and that will be part of the lease process too, I'm sure. You know, because when that lease expires with whoever signs it, what's going to happen?
We're gonna buy it.
Yeah. So we ought to know how much it is then. Right? Is that what you're saying?
Well, we already established a price. I have it in one of the written agreements, $1.
I don't remember that. Was that Tim?
It would have had, it wasn't me, so it would have had, it would have had to been Tim.
That's paper that I got from Tim.
Did we sign it? The agreement, I mean, it was
I don't know.
I don't remember
if the
this.
Council signed it. That was the paper that I was given by Tim. That's a paper I also presented to our attorney. And we started drawing up our organization. We're working on the bylaws and stuff like that.
okay.
And that process is going slow. That's why I asked for the extension and you agreed to the lease. And we paid the
We were
insurance.
leasing the property to you. But that didn't mean we're gonna sell it to you for.
Yeah, we had a purchase agreement.
Okay,
It's not signed by us. Otherwise, the council would have had to prove it.
Right.
we have to find that.
Yeah.
I will continue.
I'll look, I'll see if I
Yeah,
can
you,
find.
you might, yeah. I didn't know that. I don't recall that. I wouldn't say that. I don't know.
I think it was proposed at one time, but never agreed on, that I can remember. But I think it was proposed that we would do something like that.
See, I feet of clay, I don't know.
This is part of the problem is everything is discussed, nothing's agreed upon, we agree upon it, and then you change the rules.
All we gotta do is
I
see the
can't keep
document.
up.
If it's signed, we're done. I mean, you've got us. I mean, it's $1 if it's signed. But Tim can't act on his own on something like that.
Well, I don't think he was, I thought he was working with the council's approval.
He is working to work out a deal, but we have not. I cannot remember, nor
No, I can't.
him, that we actually agreed that it would be $1. Okay, I'm not saying it hasn't. If you look it up and you got something, then we'll stand corrected. Okay, we're not saying you're wrong, we're just saying we do not remember
The
that.
paper signed, who does it have to be signed by?
He'd have to sign it. Tim
I
can't
don't
sign
think
it.
it has your signature on it, to be honest, I think it was Tim's.
Yeah, see, I don't know, and I'm not saying anything, no disparagement here for anything. I don't know if he signed a proposal or if he signed an actual agreement. I don't know. Because he can't do that without our approval.
Right.
I mean, we have to be able to sign it. We have to sign it
You
because it's
contacted your attorney, our attorney contacted your attorney also and agreed upon it, this is when we went forward with it.
on the dollar.
That was for the lease.
That's what I'm
Just for the
thinking.
lease, right?
Not on the lease, on the dollar.
Our attorney has only talked to me about the lease. And he said he spoke to your attorney about the wording that needs to go in the lease, and the lease is not the purchase. The lease was to get you through until you made the purchase. I don't know about the dollar, that's nothing to do with the dollar, but that's what the lease was for. Like, the lease was supposed to, like, we were supposed to have a lease now, and yet you paid the insurance money.
The lease was the insurance.
No, you paid the insurance because you didn't have the lease. The lease would have taken you through until you got everything you needed to, you know, all your bylaws and stuff to buy the airport.
I guess I need an attorney to talk to you people.
That's why we got them involved.
And that's why they wanted to know if the lease was done yet, because the lease would take us through until the purchase happens.
Tom, the best thing to do is just see if you got it, and if you got something like that, then we can go from there and just discuss. Cause if you got it, you know, that's fine. You know, I can't say, you know, it's just. We haven't been negotiating, Tim has been negotiating, and now she'll be negotiating with you. Okay, but negotiation and approval is two different things, the negotiation. And then they gotta bring it to the board here. And he's gotta sign it. Dave. So if it
With
isn't,
the approval.
yeah,
Okay, I can't just.
Council, yeah.
I don't remember voting. Do you? You don't.
no, I don't. I remember us talking about
Right.
maybe a $1 thing, but we never agreed to it. It was in conversation.
Well, that's the way I remember it, but that's why we have. And our attorney said that we just talked to their attorney about the lease.
About the lease. That
Okay,
their attorney drawing up, if he's talked to their attorney about drawing up the lease, that it was his recommendation that their attorney draw up the lease. And then he would review the lease, and then the lease would be presented to you
right,
with his recommendations.
right.
But that was just for the lease of the property, leasing it and buying it, but the lease was supposed to carry us until they made the purchase. There, again, there was no, you guys, I've told you, I believe at the last meeting or maybe the meeting before that. When I went through all the airport stuff like you directed me to, there was no motions.
Right.
Except the lease.
So we have to clear that up. Yeah, that's all we're gonna, I still think we gotta know what it's worth.
Right.
I agree.
That again would need a motion, a
Well,
motion for an appraisal.
I would move that we get an appraisal of our airport so that we at least know the value of the property. Especially given, since this has been a pretty confusing process, since Tom knows things we don't and vice versa. So I think that's really important. We start with the appraisal and then go from there.
Okay, you make that motion?
Yes, I move that we get an appraisal.
Okay,
I'll second it.
seconded by Cooney.
Wouldn't we want an appraisal no matter what, because then can't we
Right.
do that as a write-off too?
Well,
Maybe.
Taxes
yeah,
or something, I mean, you know, how much if we did say, agree to you on the dollar. And we come with an appraisal and it's 200,000, we should have some kind of a write-off on that. It has nothing to do with you, it has with us, right?
Understand that part, but at the same time, we're trying to conserve money. Why would we want to spend a couple $1,000 on an appraisal if we don't need it, if we've already agreed upon a price?
Because then we can write it off too. There's a good possibility we can write it off.
well, I think we have to do that if we're gonna
Right.
spend money
Right.
or dispose of any assets, right?
Yes.
We still have to know what the assets are
You have
worth,
to do your due diligence.
because it's not our money.
And Tom, it's unfortunate, but Tim may have said things that you and he had a conversation. This is new to us as far as the dollar. We never passed any motion saying we were selling it to anybody for a dollar. Yeah,
Was kind of kicking the back to me because we proceeded on that assumption.
but we didn't
From
know.
this point, we spent quite a lot of money getting to the point we have so far. Under, I guess, some bad information.
Well, it certainly, on our part, it was incomplete. I grant you that. I don't know what was talked about between you and, well, I don't know what else to say.
And bottom line is, we're not knocking Tim either. Tim's done a great job for us, so. You know, if he's done something and we don't know about it, all we wanna do is show us something.
I'm not trying to belittle Tim, don't.
Oh, no, I don't think so, but I don't want you to think we are either,
Tim and I
because Tim
have
was a good manager.
relationship, we got along pretty good, I think,
Right.
so.
Yeah,
No, I appreciate that, Tom. I'm not saying, I just wanted you to know that we're not knocking Tim, because Tim's no longer here, so he's a fault
Yeah.
scapegoat. I don't mean that by any means, because
We just didn't know.
Tim worked very well with us, so I'd love to see what you have, just to. For our own sake, just, you know, if you could come up with that. And I guess I'd ask you the same thing, Jessica, if you could find something, if there's something there, or,
I will
you know.
look.
Do we have to do an appraisal even if there's a document out there that we're selling it for $1? We have to do an appraisal no matter what?
I don't know the answer to that. I just know that our attorney recommended that we get an appraisal.
But, right, even if there is a document that says $1, we did not pass that motion here. So the document doesn't have our backing.
Right.
That's why we need to get the appraisal.
Yeah, I'm just asking is, you know, for
Not
our sake that we're
yeah.
following the right steps. I mean, we've talked about a ton of different options and I know that that's been discussed, but I don't.
Well, you said the
No
attorney
motion.
recommended it, right?
Right, I mean,
Yes,
if you end up selling the property. You have to notice everybody, you have to have a public hearing. I mean, I can only. Think that the attorney wanted you to have an appraisal so that when people come to the public hearing. And they ask how much that land is worth, you'll have that answer versus saying, I don't know, we're just giving it to them for $1. So you'll know what it's worth
Yeah.
and you'll be able to tell
that
them.
just makes logical sense, protects
You're
everybody.
giving it to them for $1, you'll be able to have your reasons at that point.
Okay, we'll try to get some answers.
we need to vote.
We do have appraisal, a motion,
Yeah, and I
moved
think,
and seconded to, have the property appraised. Further discussion. Okay, all in favor, say aye. All opposed, say no. Motion carries. Okay, vaccine bid.
The village solicited sealed bids for its 26 through 28 crack sealing program. And we received 3 bids. We received one from GT Contracting for $1.10 per pound each year. We received a bid from Wolverine Seal Coating for $1.21 for all 3 years. And our last one was K&B Asphalt Seal Coating for $1.35 in 2026, $1.38 in 2027, and $1.39 in 2028. Of the 3 bidders, GT Contracting and Wolverine have both previously performed work in the village and are proposing materials that meet the village's requirement for MDOT approved sealing material. GT Contracting has performed the most crack sealing work for the village and has an established history with the village pavement maintenance program. Wolverine Seal Coating has also previously completed work for the village and is also familiar with the village's expectation. Our recommendation is to award the crack sealing program to GT Contracting for the 3-year bid at $1.10 per pound. The contract does not guarantee a minimum amount of work. It just guarantees annual work based on the pavement maintenance priorities and the available funding that the council sets in their budget.
Okay,
You know what the M stands for? There's like a 3405 and then the one's got the M.
I believe that's Michigan.
Oh,
So
it's the
in
same stuff.
2020, this is 2026, in spring of 2026. It was just 3405. And it wasn't until August after the bids came out or bids went out that the M was added. I can check with MDOT, but I believe it's Michigan,
Doesn't really mean much.
no.
Okay.
okay. Chair will entertain a motion. Anybody?
Do it. I'll make a motion.
All right.
You move that we award the crack ceiling bid for 26, 27, and 28 at $1.10 a pound to GT Contracting. Is that correct?
That's,
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by PV. Further discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Okay, Carol Shannon, yes. Paul Cuny,
Yes.
Joe Latte,
Yes.
Robert Laraway,
Yes.
Brent Peavy,
Yes.
Dave Torgerson.
Yes, motion carries 6-0. The row agreement,
In the budget, we talked about some seal coating projects that need to be done in the village. This year it was South Clubhouse Drive, which is Parkview to West River Road, and Bonanza Lane, from Coldwater to school. The village intends to bid the project out within the next month, with the goal of completing the construction before the end of the 2026 construction season. Rowe is our engineering firm that we've used for previous specs for road improvement plans. This is their agreement that they will design what we need done. They will do the engineering, the RFPs. They will come back with the RFPs. You know, we may still look at those to make that cost a bit less. But this is, they are asking to approve their agreement for $12,000 to do the work that they normally provide the village when we have a road project.
yeah, we do this every time we do a project. Man, this is budgeted, right?
Yes.
Any discussion? Questions?
For MDOT program, like, do you have to have an engineer? Or is that just like someone that municipalities usually do? Is it like a state requirement for like? It's part of like Act 51, like gas tax money, right?
That's what we're using to pay for it.
I think you do.
I think is it a stipulation that you have to have engineering like over putting junky pavement down?
Correct.
Okay. All right,
They're making sure
someone
that it's
asked me
done.
about that. I did-
So eventually, you know, when Tim started, he had Rowe do all of the work, and then as he gained more and more experience with roads, Rowe stepped back more and more. I'm not familiar with all of the road maintenance versus, I mean, like RFPs, I understand, but when it comes to depth and, you know, anything more than cracks, which I'm versed in cracks now because we had to get certified for that, but it would be better for the village for now to let Rowe come in to make sure that we're getting the best bang for our buck.
Yeah, for sure.
Any other discussion?
But it is not required.
Okay.
Motion to accept row. Motion to accept the bid by row. Professional services agreements. For the cracks, or for the, what do they call it?
Seal coating.
Seal coating. Yeah, seal coating. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Latte. Discussion further? Roll call, please.
Paul Cuny,
Yes.
Joe Latte,
Yes.
Robert Laraway,
Yes.
Brent Peavy,
Yes.
Carol Shannon, yes. Dave Torgerson.
Yes, motion carries 6-0. Introduction. Data center info.
Before you. You have an ordinance that the planning commission has been working on since February. This started out at about a 4-page document. It is now up to, I believe, 11 pages. The planning commission's recommendation is they've taken all the information that they've received from public comment, from email comments, from their own research, and from passing this through our attorney, and they've come up with the ordinance that they are recommending to you tonight. Right now, the village has no ordinance in place. Michigan law says if you do not have it in your ordinance, it is permissible anywhere in your village. So right now, if a data center were to come in, thankfully, to put this to rest right now, there's no data center on the table at all. Nobody's approached us. We haven't heard anything in the wind. There's no data center. We are seriously just trying to get ahead of this. But right now, we are vulnerable should one want to come, because we have no means to stop them with our current ordinance. This ordinance puts in many protections. And our attorney was very firm on the fact that, you know, you want something in place. What I'm proposing tonight is you take this ordinance, because there's a few things that you can do, which I'm sure you've read. You can introduce the ordinance tonight and have a public hearing next month, and then approve it or disapprove it next month. If you want to make changes after your public hearing, you have to have another public hearing. I would prefer you to take this ordinance with you tonight, read it through, do your own research, and then come back in September. We'll make whatever changes you want to make. Once we get that final document at our September meeting, then you can introduce that document with those changes that you made and have a public hearing in October. I really think that that would give you a better idea of what the planning commission has been seeing. It'll give you a chance to read through our ordinance and look to see if you want to put in more restrictions
Or just change it.
or change it.
Yeah.
But right now, we are open. You could do a moratorium, however, again, at this stage, a moratorium, when you put a moratorium in place, and I already asked our attorney, he said 6 to 8 months max. He said, but right now, because you've been working on your ordinance since February, again, somebody could come in and sue you, because when you put a moratorium in, you usually do that in February, which would give you all this time to work on it. You don't do it after you've worked on it and then do a moratorium. Now, that being said, if our ordinance goes into place, I do know that there is something at the state level that is working on a state moratorium. So let's say our ordinance gets approved in October. If that state moratorium comes, that's even better for us, because now we have our ordinance, and now the state says they can't do data centers anyways. So now we're doubly protected.
Quick question. When you said they can go anywhere in the village, they can't go into a residential neighborhood.
We don't have anything that says they can't.
I thought residential was strictly for homes.
What if they put a 1,200 square foot, or, well, we don't really have a size restriction. We have a 35% thing, but what if they build a house? And they put, I mean, a data center it can be as much as just a house full of servers. So it could still happen.
See, it's a can of worms. That's why we want to make sure we've got something on the books, and I think it's a good suggestion that we all look at it and educate ourselves for it, and then make some recommendations or whatever. And some changes, because as she said, if we do it and have it next month, to change it, we have to start all over again.
No, I agree on that. I just never thought you could put something like that in, because that's a commercial or industrial use. And our I look at it as they can't go in residential, but they can go in any other place. And we wouldn't have any say if we didn't have something in there. But residential, I find it hard to believe it.
I don't know if you guys remember when you guys had to talk about the adult entertainment issue,
Mhm.
and it wasn't in our ordinance at the time.
That was 2003 or 4 or
No,
5.
it wasn't in our ordinance at all. We didn't have a definition for it.
And that
It
was a
wasn't
big
there.
deal.
And the reason that we had to put it in our ordinance was that same thing, and Tim brought up that, yes, there could be an adult entertainment center in the residential district, because we do not prohibit it.
That's what they were gonna do with that little restaurant over there. That's what they wanted to do in that
Oh,
spot.
in Wayne?
No, right
Oh,
over
right
here,
here.
right out of bounds, the old bar.
So, yes, if you don't have language in there, it's a.
It's just a dad center.
Just think of the revenue.
It's a bad. Okay.
Oh, moratorium, they just sue us and then what? I just don't, I mean, I think that would kind of just throw some more red tape and let us get this ordinance passed by October. I mean, maybe if they see a moratorium, maybe they'll just keep looking. Kind of like what happened with the Dollar General, they just build it down the road. We can't stop them once they get down the road.
I mean, if you wanted to put a moratorium. If you
Just something
want,
to
yeah,
kind of-
if you wanna put a moratorium in for the next 2 months, 3 months, while you work on this, absolutely. Because then it at least protects us. The planning commission couldn't, a moratorium can only come from the council.
It's not
So,
anything to lose by doing it.
No.
Right? It might not hold up if they sue us,
but
but
they wouldn't if it's only for that 3 months that you're working, like you have it, you know, and let's say, let's take it out even further, let's take it out to November. Cause that way it covers us for that 15 days that it has to be published after your council meeting.
Yeah,
So,
but that's what we wanna make sure that we can take that packet home and look at it.
so,
Right.
I mean, if you wanted to make a motion for a 3-month moratorium, you absolutely could, and yeah, that would definitely protect us even more. Cause it protects us now and we have no protection right now.
So that's what you would recommend?
I don't see anything wrong with it.
Okay.
I don't think it's a bad idea, because then we can take our time and make sure that we do have it tight enough where they can't
By
find a
reading
loophole.
this, yeah.
Correct.
You know, we can take our time looking at it and.
Right.
I guess if someone wanted to come and sue us in the meantime, it is what it is.
I don't think they would, because you're not doing a 12-month, you're
Right.
doing 3 months.
Right.
Just a work period.
Yeah, just a work period while you have it.
3 months.
Are you making that a motion?
I'll make the motion.
No, second.
Motion made by PV to
A
have a
3-month moratorium?
moratorium until November. Is that what you said?
A 3-month
So
moratorium.
that would be,
September, October.
Yeah, that's on November 8th.
well, I just wanna make sure.
The third Tuesday in November.
There you go.
No, whatever.
But that would make, yeah, that
Third
would,
Tuesday of the month, yeah,
Starting,
and that would make it,
yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly, 3 months from now.
Yep.
right now.
perfect.
Okay. So what's that date?
So motion's been made,
Third Tuesday.
I seconded it.
or no,
Laraway. Yep.
Yeah.
Motion
motion
was
made by PV,
Second.
seconded by
Laraway.
Laraway to have a moratorium for data centers until November. Next November's meeting,
Third Tuesday in November.
third Tuesday in November. Let's, yeah, better say that in case we change the date. Third
That's
Tuesday.
the
Is that too
17th,
much?
November 17th.
No, September, October, November.
Yeah.
October to November.
No.
Yeah.
August, September.
It's 90 days.
It starts now, so August to September, September, October to November.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Further discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please. Let's do this roll call.
Okay. Paul Cuny,
Yes.
Joe Latte,
Yes.
Robert Laraway,
Yes.
Brent Peavy,
Yes,
Carol Shannon, yes. Dave Joseph.
Yes.
That's a
Moratorium.
good idea. So then, whenever we read the ordinance and we come back in September,
That means we have to act on it in September.
Yes and no, so
Well,
4
and-
months
and-
takes us out to November, honestly,
Right.
so if you wanted to come back in September. Discuss everything and then have me take your discussions back and bring it, but back to you in October. You could then introduce it in October and have a public hearing in November.
Sounds good. Did you get, yeah.
Yep.
All right. Payroll company agreements.
So when I first started in this position, it was brought up about how we do payroll, which is by hand currently, and it was suggested that we look into a payroll company that would better track our employees, our time off, our health
Taxes.
insurance, taxes, all of that, and it would free up a little bit of time from doing payroll by hand. So I have done some research on some payroll companies. BSNA is who obviously we wanted to go with, but their price was like $15,000 and then about $5,000 every year after that. And that's just not something I feel we can do with, 5 employees. So what I chose Gusto with your blessing, and their plus plan includes full service payroll, including federal, state, and local tax filings, W-2 and 1099 preparation, direct deposit and unlimited payroll runs, employee time and project tracking, customizable pay time off policies. They'll take our policies and our PTO, put it into their system so that it tracks that. If we wanted to, we could utilize it for employee onboarding, electronic document signing, expense tracking, and all the while, I will still have like the oversight, so it does say direct deposit in there. We'll have to look at our bank account, but when we looked at direct deposit before, direct deposit would it costs too much money through Isabella Bank to do that. So this will still let us print paper checks that they can then deposit, via their phones. It costs $80 per month plus $12 per employee. There's no long-term contract. They can start in October because I can give them the last 3 quarters information, so that, and then they would be able to go ahead and do W-2s and 1099s this year. It'll be about $1,600 per year.
I fully support this. I think that it eliminates a lot of gray area. You can, track all this stuff, especially as a government entity, like, if any person in the village wanted to question things, like, these are accurate records, like, and it tracks it every week. You can see your weekly pay stubs, exactly how much vacation you have,
Yep.
all that. I mean,
I love it.
everybody has a payroll.
I love that they can turn their vacation time slips into me through the app. Like, they don't have to print it off and fill it out and, it won't get lost or, it's not gotten lost before, but you know what I mean? Like, it's a piece of paper that Jerry and I used to hand to Tim and, hopefully it didn't get lost in the shuffle, but I really do like the tracking part of it.
Yeah, Gusto won't let you do direct deposit or Isabel Bank.
Isabella Bank, we tried it once and they took away all of our interest,
Nice,
so.
We might be
You
able
can
to work,
spell check,
might be
though.
able to work around that.
right.
Yeah.
You wanna make that motion?
Yeah, I'll make the motion that,
Second.
we accept the company agreement.
Okay, motion made by PV to recommend proceeding with the implementation of Gusto Plan Plus or Plus Plan at a cost of $80 a month and $12 per employee per month. Seconded by CUNY. Further discussion?
Thought I read it was the #1 payroll
Yeah,
in the United States. I don't know if I don't know anything about it, but
Yep.
that sounds good.
Sounds good.
It's popular.
Yeah.
I
So it
looked
must be
into
easy to work with.
ADP, I think is what it's called as well, but they were a little more expensive, so.
Roll call, please.
Joe Latte,
Yes.
Robert Laraway,
Yes.
Brent Peavy,
Yes.
Carol Shannon, yes, Paul Cuny,
Yes.
Dave Torgerson.
Yes. Motion carries 6-0. Paper folder purchase.
Oh, as you know, we had a hiccup with getting our taxes out as early as we normally do. Or, normally we get them out earlier than we do. This year, well, last year, the printing company got them out way late. This year we got them out the day before. They became payable. And part of that was because we did it in-house to save money and our paper folder machine broke. We've had our paper machine since 2019. There was a 1-year warranty, and when I called to have it repaired, they said they no longer work on those machines at all. So we went through AV Dick the first time for a paper folder. I contacted them to give me a couple options. They gave me a lease option, which I feel is completely should be off the table, and a purchase price, which I think would make good sense. If we're gonna start doing our taxes in-house, which I fully think we should, it saves on postage. We have better control on when it's going out in our own timelines. We don't have to be on somebody else's timeline. We're gonna need something to fold, plus it helps anytime we do any sort of mailing at all for the village, so.
Okay, discussion. Chair will entertain a motion if there's no discussion.
I didn't know these things were even a thing.
Oh, yeah.
Paper folders.
They're really fun.
It
Yeah,
does, this one does like 6 or 7 different folds, but yeah,
it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Is there a motion?
I'll do it.
Motion made by Shannon to accept the purchase of, I don't even know what they're called.
paper folder.
Paper
machine.
folder.
Paper folding unit.
Okay, paper folding units at the cost of $68.36.83. Is there a second?
There you go.
Seconded by Laraway. Discussion? Seeing none, roll call please.
Robert Laraway,
Yes.
Ron Peavy,
Yes.
Carol Shannon, yes. Paul Cuny,
Yes.
Joe Latte,
Yes.
Dave Torgerson.
Yes, motion carries 6-0. Flyer request.
Fireworks, there's actually two things that need to be discussed with the fireworks committee. First, like Jeff said, they had their first couple of meetings. They're very high spirited. They have a ton of ideas that I think are going to be a huge benefit to Lake Isabella as a community and for the firework program if they succeed, which at this point, I don't see that they won't. They have this flyer, which everybody has in front of them, that they'd like to put at out of bounds, and they'd also like to go door to door and hand them out so everybody can know what they are looking for, what our fireworks entail, and where to donate. They have our QR code on there, and they also have where to mail the check payable to. They show a little bit about, in 2026, the community donations covered less than a third of the cost of the actual show. We need your help. And that future fireworks displays will depend on community support and donations. So because they're an advisory committee, they can't put anything out on their own that represents the village. So they need they need a motion that allows them to proceed with sending or putting these out for the public. And then secondly, we had talked about the village donating to the fireworks fund. This would be a really good time right now, since they are starting their donation drive, to figure out if you're going to do a percentage, an annual amount, and what that is, so that they know what goal they need to meet. So right now, I would think would be a good time to just discuss and then make a motion on how you guys want to proceed with that.
So we're gonna have two different motions then.
Yep.
First motion is to
Approve the flyer.
approve the flyer. I make that motion to approve the fireworks flyer.
I'll second that.
Seconded by Peavy. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Okay, the flyer is approved. Now. What are you comfortable with?
All the amount.
33%? You wanna do it by percentage? You wanna do it by a flat rate?
Percentage of what? The total cost that it would cost to do a program? So
Well, or what they raise, but I don't know, maybe a straight fee.
I think that'd be better than percentage,
Yeah,
easier to figure out.
simpler.
Yeah.
3,000, 4,000, what are we thinking?
What did our fireworks cost last year total?
15,000.
The year before, I think was 17.
What's the committee's goal?
Well, that's what they need to know.
They need us to decide, and then they're gonna add on.
Oh, they want to know what we're gonna spend?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Their goal at this point, I believe, is to be about 20,000-30,000. Is what they're anticipating.
Really? And we don't have to get involved at all?
They just want to know how much they can count on the village donating every year, so that they can put that in their books and know how hard they've got to go.
Give some.
what are you thinking, how much?
5,000 to 7,000, but not every year guaranteed. It's for this year, we'll guarantee this much. Next year, we'll relook at it.
So you want to like approve it every year?
I think
Annual
so,
approval.
Right.
because we should be able to lower that, you know.
Yeah,
Because if they, I guess give them a kickstart the first year and then let's see, what they raised, what we did.
Now, what happens to all these funds? If we don't meet the goal,
We'd have to keep track of them,
you know,
right?
because I know that they're doing
Hey.
donations and such.
Yeah,
see, there's a minimum is what you're driving at, isn't it? The fireworks company needs a minimum,
Right.
or they're not gonna do the work at all.
They're at
Right.
least get to 15 grand.
Yeah,
So
You know.
They're gonna get.
I have it on my docket to call, because with a special assessment, you have to refund it back to your property owners that paid it in. I'm going to call Cliff this week to talk to him about what happens with donations. If they don't get to, you know, the amount that we need to have a show that year? Do we just, so let's say they, with our donation and their donation, they bring in 10,000, do we do a $10,000 show? Our fireworks committee or our fireworks crew that we hire would do that. It would just be less time and smaller shells.
Yeah.
Do we do that, or are we allowed to hold the money until we obtain enough to have a show? These are questions that would definitely need Cliff to answer.
Yeah.
I think.
Now, that being
Yeah.
said, you saying that you're donating, so when we say we're donating it to the fireworks committee, if you will, we're not donating it to the fireworks committee. All that money,
They're
all
donating
comes
to
here.
us.
So we wouldn't have to, you know, like,
I was asking as
Yeah.
far as like the donations, if God forbid something happens and we weren't able to reach our goal, we weren't gonna go, that's what I was wanting
Right,
to bring
yeah,
out
what
in the
happened to the
open.
money, yep.
I am all for, donating money to that cause, because I know the community really loves it and stuff. But I think we should have like a stipulation of some sort, like if they reach, with our, agreed upon donation, the goal, and I think, that may.
I probably wouldn't go under 15,000
Yeah,
for a
Yeah, I
goal.
agree.
right.
I mean, that was the standard show. I do
Yeah.
know. I know I brought it up at the last one, but it was brought up at the fireworks committee, I believe. You had a few people on the fireworks committee that said they were disappointed in this year's show because they couldn't see the fireworks. I don't know if they said they were on a boat or if they were at their house.
I think they were farther out, so part of the lake, trees blocked a lot of it.
I heard a lot of complaints.
They like the high,
Still
the
night,
bigger
the
shells.
smoke lingered, which was a
Smoke.
Oh, yeah, that's one.
the obstruction of view.
Yeah,
So,
it was very smoky
Yeah.
this year. I've never seen it like that before.
But the bigger shells go higher
Right.
than the
Is
smoke
that
shells.
the reason why? So it's gonna be smoky no matter what, because we're
Hopefully there's the
limited.
wind blowing, yes, this year you're right, there was no wind. And just across the lake from where I watched it, it sucked in that sense, because
Yeah.
you couldn't see through all the smoke.
Right, there was a lot of
So the fireworks went on and on and on.
Yeah.
So,
the fireworks committee is still looking at other possible locations. So if we can find another location where we can do bigger shells, the smoke wouldn't be an issue if there was no wind, because it'd be higher up, but.
I suppose we could say something like we would match what they raised up to a certain point.
What if they reach their goal of 20,000?
$40,000. I know, I said up
What's that?
to
What's the
a certain
certain
point.
What's the certain point? We gotta have a cap, like they need a hard number, so, I mean,
Yeah, that's what I said.
yeah.
So 5,000 and.
Go
Or
big,
what?
it's once a year.
What's that?
Go big, it's once a year.
Yeah, go big. Half an hour,
Go big.
10 grand, half an hour, 10 grand. That's all I can think of.
can I comment real quick, just because
Sure.
we're in the meeting?
Sure.
I like Paul's idea of doing it year by year, at least to start. You gotta figure costs and continue to go up 5 years, 10 years down the road from
Yeah.
now. I like the idea of having a fixed amount, cause then we know we start out with 5 grand. We know eventually maybe it'll be $30,000 for the show. Now we gotta raise 25,000, but we know what we're already starting with. So, and then, maybe that gets adjusted per year, if we go 5 years down the road from now and the village is in dire spots and we just don't have the money, then at least that year you can say it's less money or no money. You know what I mean? So,
My hope would be that the fireworks committee got so good and so big that we don't have to give you money.
that's how we.
That's
talked
the
about it.
goal,
That's how we talked about it in the meeting.
because
Yeah.
Yep.
it's been a money pit.
But we wanted to hear from the council. Where are you for next year? And then with the goal, eventually it will be 100% donations that would take the show.
It was interesting that I talked to a couple of people who didn't know that the village put any money in. They thought the contributions covered the entire show every year. And had no idea that they weren't anywhere near what it cost totally.
The other thing we heard in the fireworks committee, people who are fired up about having this, they didn't know that the village accepted donations. The only people who even knew were the people who donated the previous year, because we sent a letter out
Right,
to them. Anybody else who didn't donate the year before knew nothing about it.
Well, they better write a big
Most of the
check.
fireworks.
They haven't been donating, they better write big checks.
So what do you think? Cap it? Paul, what do you think? Is your idea?
Yeah, I'd say cap it.
At what?
What did we do like this year? How much did the village get this year? Yeah.
$9,000.
9 grand. Let's flip it upside down. Let's do 6 grand.
Grand?
Between the 5 and 7.
Yeah, there you go.
$6,000?
6,000
Everybody good with that?
this year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mhm.
okay, so we have to have a motion.
I'll make the motion
Okay,
What's your motion?
that the village will contribute or donate $6,000 towards the fireworks.
Contribute, I like that word better.
For
Contribute,
the 2027.
Yes.
2027 year. Motion made by Latte to, contribute.
I'll second it.
Council contribute.
All got it.
All, $6,000 to the fireworks committee
7.
efforts. Seconded by CUNY.
Got it, thanks.
All right. Any further discussion? Okay, we have to have spending money, gotta have a roll call.
Carol Shannon, yes. Paul Cuny,
Yes.
Joe Latte,
Yes.
Robert Laraway,
yes,
Brad Peavy,
yes.
Dave Torgerson.
Yes, motion carries 6-0.
Right.
Okay, this is a portion in our meeting. We are, as a council, in receipt of 2 privileged and confidential legal opinions that we have to go over, so we have to have request a motion to go into closed session, which means that the audience gets to leave. You can wait and come back when we're done. But doors will be closed, but I need a motion from one of the council members to go into closed session.
I'll make a motion.
Motion made by CUNY to go into closed session. Is there a second? Seconded by Laraway. Got to do a roll call. It's got to be 2/3. Got to have 5 people. All in favor or no? I can't say all in favor.
I got it.
Roll call.
Or more.
Yes, you did. A lot of checking.
2 closed sessions, like the roll call.
Yep.
Okay, Paul Cuny,
Yes.
Joe Latte,
Yes.
Robert Laraway, Brad Peavy,
Yes.
Carol Shannon, yes, Dave Torgerson.
Yes, closed session is
At what time?
at 8:17.
Thanks.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you for putting a moratorium in place.
Yeah.
It's very much appreciated.
Welcome.
Thank you, Jeffrey.
Done, so.
At the end of the meeting.
That,
That was quick. Get rid of the sign.
Get rid
Don't
of the
mess
first one.
around, Jeff.
oh, got it.
Because a lot of times we wind up talking about where we're at.
I know, but I don't want to do that.
Yeah. Is it?
We thought it was just. Now.
Nice to see you guys.
Are you still recording? Or you turn it back on?
Right back up.
Okay.
So I want everybody to consider that for next time. Anyway. No more public comments, council comments. That would be mine. It's just about the public comments, announcements. When's the next meeting, Jess?
Next council meeting is, I believe, September 17th.
Okay,
We do not have a planning commission meeting in September. Our next planning commission meeting is the 2nd Tuesday in October. We have a fireworks committee
20 tomorrow and then 26, I believe.
at
the other
6
one.
P.M.
okay.
Tomorrow.
The 17th, I don't know if I'll be available because my wife's got a doctor's appointment in Traverse City, so
Okay,
I might not be.
okay, let me
If I
know.
can make it, I will.
Yeah, let me know, because I know Carol is also gone for the 17th meeting.
17th of September is a Thursday.
Is it?
Right.
Yeah, I'm
That is- You're
It's the
right,
15th.
because I didn't even look at that.
15th.
It's the 15th.
50, okay.
So now you.
I was thinking November.
Now you're okay?
Yeah.
You good? So
Yep.
September
I'm
15th.
not doing anything on the 17th, I mean, on the 15th.
Rescheduled.
All right. Anybody have any other announcements? Stand adjourned.
Great.